Okay, you are in the kitchen with Jelly007.com and his new Ninja Foodie. And yeah, I've been out for a couple of days, haven't posted anything in a couple of days, and that's because I've been busy. And I've been figuring out some things. I've got more things I can tell you, but this right here is the main thing. And that is a pot roast. And the pot roast works great for many, many things. Everything from supper to a Sunday dinner. So we're going to cut to this chase right quick, and I'm going to try and tell you everything I can in a hurry, kind of, to keep the video short. The chuck roast, that's a 4-pound chuck roast. And I'm going to touch on this right quick to start with. If you're using something besides a chuck roast, in my opinion, you're not going to get as good a result. A chuck roast works great with a pot roast. There's a lot of reasons. It just does. And I mean, you could use a cheaper cut or a more expensive cut. It's not going to come out as good as this. You could use a filet mignon, and it won't work as good in a pot roast as this. Now, I see a lot of people using rump, and they use sirloin, and blah, blah. What I'm getting at is the chuck roast was made for pot roast. It has a kind of a gelatinous-like texture to it when it's cooked. I don't think there's a better cut of meat for it, so I'm going to hush on that. But next is stuff like this. I like these carrots for making a pot roast. I don't know why. They're kind of hard to find sometimes. I got these at Ingles, and I don't skin them. I don't peel them. I put it like that. I take Scotch-Brite, and I run them under water, and I will take this right here and clean that. I don't like to skin that pretty of a vegetable. I clean them real well, and it takes off pretty much the skin, but you don't get it down as far as you would if you were peeling it. Let's see, baby bella mushrooms. I'll also say I'm not going to use all of this. I'm just going to use what I feel I need right here. And it'll hold a good bit. So we're just going to fill it to a proper level with what I have here. The potatoes I'm using several different sizes. Reason is, some of them will cook, they're all going to be well done. They're going to be done when you cook them like this. And some of them will be, what some people say is bad, which is overcooked. Well, to me, if you use small and large, you'll have some overcooked and some cooked. But there's nothing wrong with the overcooked ones. But like I said, I'm trying to harp on. Now these right here, I can't remember what they're called. It'll take me a minute. But yeah, it's a medley that I bought, and I have several of these in there. But I also have regular size Yukons, and then these red potatoes. So next is the celery. I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm just going to wash it real well and rough cut it. Pieces about this long. I'm going to do the same thing with that. Once I wash these down with the Scotch-Brite, I'll cut them into pieces about like this. Rough cut. I mean like this. I've tried baby carrots, and they get a little too far. These hold up better under that heat and pressure. I'm going to use 4 cloves of this garlic that I'm going to mince. I'm not going to put any whole garlic in, just my preference. You could put them in there if you wanted to whole, but I'm going to mince them. I'm going to quarter this onion. I'm going to, try to remember stuff I hadn't forgot. I think that's all the vegetables. 2 tablespoons of Lea and Perrins. It means a bunch. It really does. It helps a pot roast. This is one of the things that really needs to be mentioned. I use bone broth because I can get it. It's not that easy to find, and I'm not going to say, you can see the price. I'm not going to say it means that much. It just really don't. I mean, it does, or I wouldn't be using it. But this right here, you can get this anywhere, and it works great. And I've used it on, I don't know, a bunch of pot roasts, and it works fine. And I'm only going to use like 12 ounces of it, so I could get 2 uses out of this. So the price is not that big. If you can find it, by all means, use it. It's also a little gelatinous or a little thick. I'm going to use, what's in here is this right here. I just filled it up or put some in it. And all I'm going to do, and this is kind of key too, with the Ninja Foodie, you don't get bits and pieces. You don't have to deglaze your pan, because when you sear that, and all I do is spray it, I don't even put any in the pot. I just spray this, and then I put liberal amounts of salt and pepper, and I've got sea salt here. And you don't get the bits and pieces on the bottom. You don't have to deglaze it. This surface right here has been very impressive to me. I mean, really impressive. If you've seen my other videos, When I'm done, I tell that I wipe this out. Once it cools off, I wipe it out with a paper towel and then wash it in my sink. And that is really all I do. Okay, so just so you'll know, get this watch stack right and light up. It is right at 9 o'clock. So we're going to see how long it takes this to come to, say, 450 degrees. And all I have to do at this point is press sear, the sear button, saute, and then press the start button. And it will start getting hot, and this way we'll know exactly how long it takes, because it doesn't indicate the temperature on it. You can't see, like on the Instapot it says hot or whatever. If it does that, I haven't seen it. So what I'm looking for is 450, and we can get an idea how long it takes. Okay, so right at 9:06, we'll see if you can read this, and if I can get it, I can see a red dot. You might can, but it's 430, 419 right there. So 438 right there. Now, one thing I will say is I did spray, 2 squirts of this in there. Now, one thing that does, it kind of lets you, honestly, you can start smelling the oil, and it's barely starting to smoke. Okay, I'm going to call that 4 minutes, and I've been standing here doing this every once in a while. I mean, you don't want to leave it anyhow, so you might as well spin it around. And if I can get it picked up, we're going to look at the other side. The camera's a little bit in my way. In fact, as you can see, that is about, well, you might not can see. I see the camera's a little out of focus. That is about as perfect as you can get. So that was 4, maybe 5 minutes. I'll show you where I'm at. I'm right there, so 5 minutes. So what I meant a while ago was that right there. That's what I do. I don't know if I had it focused earlier. And I'm going to step to the other side to try and get this out of here better with the camera sitting where it is. But there's where we're at. I'm going to take a look at it. And there's nothing wrong with that, so it is coming out of there. Okay, so now all I want to do is put like a bed of potatoes down. I'm not going to use a trivet. It's been a few minutes. I let it rest. I let the pan cool off and let that rest a little bit for a few minutes. But just use some of your larger potatoes on the bottom maybe. It's not that big a deal, I don't think. They're going to cook. Okay, so the vegetables are in. They've been arranged. I put 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. I put the 4 cloves of garlic. Now all we have to do is hit pressure. It's already on high. And we're going to go 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, and then make sure we're set to seal. And it is. So we're off and running once I hit start. And I will also show you where we are right now, and that is 20 minutes till 10. All right, there it went. It says it's done. It just timed out. So now all we have to do is counting up. So we're going to do a quick release and see how long that takes. And by the way, we're at 10:30. So if you're keeping up with time, that's where we are. Okay, so there went the pen, and for the record, total time, there's where we are. And now we're about to see what it looks like. And that looks pretty good. And it will be, I assure you. It's been tested. You get a lot of liquids off all the vegetables and all. And that was only with 12 ounces, you saw. I mean, with 12 ounces of bone broth. So we're going to let that sit just a minute. In fact, I'm going to turn off the keep warm. I don't want to even do that. I just want it to sit there for a minute. cool down just a little bit. And then we're going to set it over here on this tray, put some vegetables around it, but I'm not eating it tonight. It's going to get ate tomorrow. I'm going to reheat it. So I'm going to eat part of it tonight. But anyhow, I'm going to get that out, and I'm going to let it sit for, say, 5 minutes. We're going to go 5 minutes, and I'm going to pull it out, get it arranged on that tray just for looks kind of tonight, and then store it for in the morning. But I'll be right back in a minute. All right, I can't help but show it. I mean, that, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts and uncles, they would be proud of me with that right there. That is a good-looking roast, and it's presented well. Okay, so there it is on the plate. And one thing I haven't done, I wanted to show right quick, was get where you can see it. Instant read thermometer. Because I did 30 minutes, and a lot of people do a lot more time than that, and I just don't think it's necessary. As you can see, there's 170, 169. And I mean, anywhere you stick it, it's going to be well above what beef has to be. I mean, in fact, we'll let this one run out. That's 163. It went down a little bit, 164. But I mean, it's still well within safe to eat range. 165, 167. That's probably the thickest part of it right there. There's 170. So I'm good with it. Anyhow, here we go. We're going to put it on a plate. Okay, so I did ladle a little bit on there, even though all this is going into another container, into the refrigerator for tomorrow. But I just wanted to, because it looks a lot better. You know, you can see that all this works. I mean, it just does. I don't know what to say. It's a really, 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 really good meal, and reheats. I've said it before, I'll say it again. A pot roast reheats at the next day. It's better than it is the day you cook it. So I mean, if you look at that, that is a really, really good looking meal. And my house smells like my grandmother's house. I mean, it does. I'm not lying. Okay, what I want to say is I've already cheated a little bit and tasted it. There's nothing here overcooked. 30 minutes, you saw the temp, plenty of time. The potato is absolutely perfect. This one, and this one. The carrots are perfect. So, and it is easy. I've seen some times that I'm sure you would overcook, whether that hurts them or not. You know, I'm not trying to diss on somebody else's recipe. I'm saying these are perfect. And I ain't gonna get back on my chuck roast wagon or grandstanding. I'm gonna say that it is as good as any I've ever ate by anybody who's ever cooked one. How about that? And one of the best meals you'll cook, like I said, for supper, all the way to Sunday dinner. It's a showcase of the meal. The bone broth adds a flavor. You know, everything does. I gotta say that. Very, very good. And if you like vegetables, you'll love this. So, in the kitchen with Jelly. I really do appreciate you watching my video, and I hope I help. And I hope some of my lengthy videos that they get out of control, and I about gave up on trying to stop that. But I hope they help you. And the Ninja Foodie, man, you saw. In fact, I forgot to show, but I think you could have saw in the video. There's not in the bottom, just something I forgot to touch on. There's not it doesn't stick. There's no bits and pieces. There's a lot of things about it that's really great. It does this fantastic too. So, www.jelly007.com. Y'all come back to see me. Like, share, subscribe, all the above. Y'all have a good night.